When we think about making our homes better, our minds usually jump to the things we can see, right? Like a fresh coat of paint, new furniture, maybe some cool lighting. But what's wild is that so much of our daily comfort, our safety, and yeah, even our energy bills are decided by materials we never even lay eyes on. So let's dive into one of those hidden heroes.
Have you ever noticed this? You walk into your garage or head down to the basement, and even on a pretty warm day, there's just this chill in the air. It's a super common thing, but it points to a way bigger issue than just needing a sweater. We're talking about wasted energy and honestly wasted money. And this right here, this is usually the main culprit. A bare, uninsulated concrete ceiling. Whether it's in a garage, a basement, or some kind of open passageway, this surface acts like a giant heat sponge. It is literally constantly sucking the warmth right out of the space. That not only makes it feel uncomfortable, it means your heating system has to work way harder, and your energy bills just keep climbing.
That constant pull of heat is just this massive, unseen energy drain. Materials like concrete, well, they're fantastic for holding a building up, but they are terrible at holding on to heat. All that warmth you're paying good money for just vanishes into thin air.
But what if you could tackle that problem head on with a material that was specifically engineered to stop that heat loss? Well, this is where modern building science gets really cool. So let's meet the solution.
This is it. Now, it might look like a simple white panel, but this is a super high-performance thermal insulation board called Multipor. We're going to break down exactly what it is, what it's made from, and how it completely solves that cold ceiling problem for good. Okay, so what's so fascinating about this stuff is how simple it is at its core. It's a mineral-based insulation, and it's made from some of the most basic natural ingredients on the planet. We're talking sand, cement, and lime. That's it. No complicated chemicals, no plastics, just the fundamental building blocks of construction. And from those really simple ingredients, you get some pretty incredible features. It's 100% mineral-based. It is completely non-combustible, and that's a huge safety feature we're going to talk more about in a second. It has fantastic thermal properties, obviously, and as we're about to see, it is incredibly versatile. All right, so those are the bullet points. But how does a block made of sand and cement actually make your house warmer and even safer? Let's get into the science of it, which is actually really, really cool. So the secret isn't really in the material itself. It's all about the structure. If you could zoom way, way in, you'd see millions of tiny, separate little air pockets. And what's one of the best insulators in the world? Trapped air. These little pores create an amazing barrier that just stops heat dead in its tracks. It's such a brilliant way to use simple physics to create a high-tech material. Now let's talk about safety for a minute, especially fire safety. Because Multipor is made of minerals, it's essentially rock. It just can't burn. It has a Class A1 fire resistance rating, which is the highest you can possibly get. So while you're making your space more comfortable and energy efficient, you're also adding this major layer of fire protection to your home. That's some serious peace of mind. Okay, so we know what it is, and we know how it works in theory. But how does it actually go from a stack of panels to a warm, insulated ceiling? All right, let's move on and see how this actually gets installed in the real world, step by step. You might think this is going to be some complicated process, but the whole thing really just boils down to 4 main steps. You get the surface ready, you mix up a special adhesive, you put that adhesive on the panel, and then you stick the panel to the ceiling. It's designed to be that straightforward. This bag right here is the real key to the whole system. It's a special, lightweight mortar that's been formulated to work perfectly with the Multipor panels. You just mix it with water, and this becomes the glue that holds everything together nice and tight. Now, the technique here is also really important. Here's a little pro tip for you. You apply a 10 to 15 millimeter layer of that mortar directly onto the back of the panel itself, not onto the ceiling. And using a notched trowel like you see here is crucial because it ensures you get a perfect, even layer for the best possible stick. And here is the most satisfying part of the whole job. You take the panel with the mortar on it, and you just press it into place on the ceiling by hand. You push it up firmly, give it a little wiggle to make sure it's set, and that's it. No drills, no screws, no complicated brackets. It's literally just glued in place. How simple is that? And get this, one of the best parts is what happens after it's installed, or rather what doesn't have to happen. With a lot of other methods, you'd have to put up drywall, then plaster, then paint, so many extra steps. With Multipor, the installation itself can be the final finish. The panels have this clean, uniform look that you can just leave as is, which saves a ton of time and money.
So we've really focused on fixing that classic cold garage ceiling. But the uses for this material absolutely do not stop there. Let's kind of zoom out for a second and see where else it can make a huge difference.
Yeah, because of its unique properties, this stuff is not a one-trick pony. It's perfect for insulating ceilings, like we've seen, but it's also used to insulate exterior walls from the inside, and even as part of full exterior insulation systems. It's pretty much a single solution for a whole bunch of different thermal challenges in a building. And that really brings us right back to where we started. It's those invisible choices, the materials behind the walls and above the ceilings, that can have the biggest impact on how we feel in our own homes, our comfort, our safety, and our bottom line. So the next time you're just hanging out at home, think about what's behind that paint and drywall for a second. What other invisible materials are working around the clock to make your home a better, safer, and more comfortable place for you to live?